Good evening and welcome back to the Commentary Hub. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in for this live stream tonight. We are 10 minutes away from kickoff in what could be one of the best games of the World Cup group stage. It is, of course, the Titans that are Portugal against the Giants that are Uruguay. And there have been a fair few changes to both of the squads ahead of this game. Two teams who started the World Cup campaign off pretty well, but both have a score to settle against each other, with Portugal being knocked out in the round of 16 in Russia in 2018, Uruguay being knocked out in the round after that. But this is a big chance now for Portugal to settle the score in what should be an absolutely fantastic game. My name's Liam Brusby, your commentator for this evening. We'll go through the starting lineups in just a second, but first we will start with the officials. So the referee tonight is Ali Reza Fagani of Iran. And the two assistant referees, also Irani, Mohammad Ezra Mansouri and Muhammad Abul Falzi. The fourth official and fifth official, both Qatari, Al Jassim and Sadiq Al Makale. On VAR, another Qatari, it's Ali Al Mari. On assistant VAR is the referee Evans. Other VAR, it's an Austrian, Shestinen. Excuse me for the pronunciation of that. Next VAR is a Jaid. And then final VAR assistant is referee Beecham. So 8 minutes away from this group stage game, the second group stage for both of these teams, as we just await the arrival of the teams. Now they are in the dugouts as we stand. A couple of the Portugal and Uruguay players having a little bit of a chat with each other, but we'll go through the starting lineup today for both teams. So it's 3 changes apiece for both Uruguay and Portugal. We'll start with Portugal first. So 3 changes for Portugal this evening. Pepe is in for Danilo Pereira in the centre-back position. 39 years old is Pepe, appearing in yet another World Cup, is the Portuguese man. William Carvalho is in for Otavio in that central midfield position. And then in the left-back position, Rafael Guerreiro, who had some problems against Ghana in that 3-2 win, Nuno Mendes has replaced him for this game against Uruguay. Same formation for Portugal. They are sticking with that 4-3-3, but there are some big changes for Uruguay. Luis Suarez, he started against South Korea, in the previous game in this World Cup. As the players are just making their way out, we will see the national anthems before the start of this game. But now Uruguay have adopted a 3-5-2 formation for this game, a 3-5-2 formation with wingbacks in this case. So the 3 changes: Luis Suarez out for Edison Cavani. Luis Suarez struggled in the game against South Korea to get past that back line, just had half a yard less, of pace. So Edison Cavani has come in and he will partner Darwin Núñez in the striker position. Varela and Sebastian Coates and Cavani, they are the 3 players that are in for Uruguay. So a formation change for Uruguay this game. We'll see if they'll go a little bit more defensive. Of course, with the wing backs, they can opt to go for 5 at the back if they need to, but I'll assume Varela and Oliveira will both push on in this game to support Cavani and Núñez as we listen to the Portuguese national anthem. Now we will hear the national anthem of Uruguay as the Portugal fans in their droves here in Qatar. They're expecting a good result this evening. So, as we prepare for this game, let's go through the starting lineups for both Uruguay and Portugal. Starting with Portugal, it is Diogo Costa in goal with João Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, Pepe, 39 years old Pepe, and Nuno Mendes. Formation 4-3-3 for Portugal. They are completing that back line with Bernardo Silva, Ruben Neves, and the newcomer William Carvalho in central midfield with a unchanged front three of João Felix on the left, Bruno Fernandes on the right, and Cristiano Ronaldo playing up front. He got his goal in the previous game against Ghana in that thrilling 3-2 win. But let's see if he can score again. We'll move on to Uruguay with Rocher. He is the goalkeeper, followed by a back three or a five of Jimenez, Diego Godin, and the newcomer into the squad after the previous game, Sebastian Coates, Varela and Oliveira, the two wing backs with Bentancur, Vecino and Valverde, the three central midfielders. And it's a front two of Edison Cavani and Darwin Núñez. They're hoping for a little bit more luck going after that back line against Portugal. It should be an all-out attacking game here this evening as we just await the teams getting into their positions. We still have a couple of minutes before kickoff. Be sure to put your predictions into the chat if you have any for this game. Of course, we are in Qatar for the World Cup, and you are listening to the Commentary Hub. This is the alternative commentary of Portugal versus Uruguay in that fantastic Lusail Stadium. Head coach for Portugal as well is Fernando Santos. He's been the manager of Portugal since 2014 and guided them to that European Championship glory back in 2016. And honestly, the team hasn't changed too much from 6 years ago. As we see the coin toss, it looks like Uruguay have won it. And Cristiano Ronaldo gets choice of ends as they give a little handshake to the officials, Cristiano Ronaldo and Diego Godin, as we see the Uruguay team. Diego Alonso, the head coach of Uruguay, and they'll be looking for a positive performance this evening. It was a 0-0 draw between Uruguay and South Korea. Like you said, Luis Suarez just didn't have what it takes to get past that back line of South Korea. They were very disciplined in that game, but they need to be a little bit more aggressive. Certainly do Uruguay. Uruguay finished third in the CONMEBOL 2022 qualifying, getting pipped out by the likes of Argentina and Brazil. Ecuador were one of the other teams that finished just below them in the top four. Peru were in the playoffs, but they ultimately missed out on the World Cup this year. Big teams like Colombia, Chile missing out on the World Cup as well from their group. Portugal as well. It wasn't all plain sailing for Portugal. Only 5 teams in the European qualifying, but the game has kicked off, and it's Uruguay moving from left to right in their white strips as the ball dispossessed in the middle of the park by Bruno Fernandes. Gets the ball over to João Pedro, who has a little Ronaldo chop, taking some inspiration. And there's a foul early on. It's the number 15 for Uruguay that's committed it. That's Valverde. So, an interesting, fast-paced start to the game. But like we said, it's Uruguay wearing the all-white strips and Portugal in the mix of red and green, who are shooting from right to left. As we see the number 4, Ruben Diaz, back over to Costa. Costa just takes his time a little bit with the ball, just slowing play down as Pepe gets the ball now, and he takes his time as well. But Ruben Neves comes short, but he passes it over to Cancelo instead. Pepe once again taking his time on the ball, but it's a long ball forward, and it's going to reach the head of Godin, who beats Ronaldo to the header. They're just trying to find Ronaldo, who does get the ball now, but it's a little bit sloppy, and Diego Godin can collect that with a little bit of pressure from João Felix. Ball goes out now for a Portugal throw-in, and it's Nuno Mendes who just commands the team a little bit higher up the park. As we see Fernando Santos, I wonder what's on his mind after that 3-2 win against Ghana. It didn't look like it was going to be the best of results until they did manage to make it 3-1. Then there was a consolation goal for Ghana. Who knew what would have happened then? But we see William Carvalho just playing it back to Pedro here. Uruguay, they're keeping the pressure on, however. Here's Pepe once again. Takes his time with the ball over to Ruben Neves. Back to Ruben Diaz on the right-hand side. Oh, sorry, the left-hand side. Going from right to left now as João Cancelo picks up the ball. And it's a little bit of a silly touch as Darwin Núñez wins the ball back. And Oliveira can counter-attack as it's a 1-2 by Cavani. And Oliveira has a go from outside the box, but wide and over as we reach the 2-minute mark of this game. But that was nice play. He just sliced the ball a little bit, did Oliveira. He'll be kicking himself for that, but that was João Cancelo's fault. It was a little bit of a risky pass to play, I think, initially to Cancelo. He had a little bit of pressure on, and that forced the error from Cancelo. But Diogo Costa just commanding his team a little bit higher up the pitch now. A couple of minutes gone in this game already. We've already had one chance so far. You listen to the commentary up. Alternative commentary of Portugal against Uruguay. Is it going to go out for another Portugal throw-in? Yes, it will. As Nuno Santos just given some instructions to Nuno Mendes. And the throw-in taken. It's a big throw-in. As you can see, Ronaldo is past the back line. And it's William Carvalho who will hit it on the volley. And it just goes over the bar. But that was a big chance and good work from Ronaldo. The free agent now, Ronaldo, to get past that back line. Of course, there's no offsides on throw-ins. So just to beat that back line, he chests it all the way up to William Carvalho, who does hit it first time on the volley, and it just goes over the bar. That's a good chance. 2 good chances squandered, you must say, for both teams early on in the game. As we're going to get a goal kick here, taken long up to Darwin Núñez, but dispossessed by Pepe. A big win from Pepe. And Godin, that's a great interception from Godin. Portugal win the ball back. It's over to Ruben Diaz. A little bit of pressure from Darwin Núñez and Cavani just causes Diogo Costa to put that ball long and Godin once again. Big header from the Uruguay man. Pepe, a little bit of pressure from Uruguay as the ball gets lofted over from Ruben Neves, but dispossessed this time by Oliveira. It's the number, This is Pepe. Pass was from João Cancelo. They're on the right-hand side here, so they've swapped positions from the original lineup already. Ruben Neves just adopting that left-back role for a split second. Bruno Fernandes dropping deep. Fernandes again, he can drive with the ball a little bit, but he doesn't have many options, and he's forced to pass that back to Pepe, who is going to get his passes in if it continues like this. Bruno Fernandes now. A little bit of pressure from Vitinho over to Ruben Neves, who has a little look around and he nearly switches the ball up, but it's dispossessed by the number 15 Valverde for Uruguay. It's all Portugal at the moment here as João Felix is fouled, and it's another free kick to Portugal. And Jimenez not happy at all. He thinks that was a bit of a dive from João Felix, but looking at the replay, that is definitely a free kick to Portugal. Just a few minutes gone here, and already two fairly decent chances for both sides, both getting squandered though. Is João Felix just dispossessed of the ball, or he tried to switch the ball to João Cancelo. This is a long ball forward by Diego Godin. And pulled down is Nuno Mendes, and it's no foul given. Oh, now they give the foul. So Nuno Mendes on the floor, but does manage to get back up. Yeah, just a little bit of tussling between Valverde and Nuno Mendes. Nothing much in that. There's a little bit of afters between Ruben Diaz and one of the Uruguay players, and it looks like there's going to be a card. Yes, it's a yellow card early on in the game now for the number 6 of Uruguay. That's Bentancur, Rodrigo Bentancur, early on in the game. Quite a pivotal midfielder. You wouldn't want him getting a yellow card so early on in the game. Ruben Diaz stays down, and yeah, nothing much in it really. Just clipped the back of the foot, but it was enough to draw a little bit of pain, a little bit of anguish for Ruben Diaz, the man who does play for Man City, having a pretty good season at the moment. Second in the league are Manchester City. Diogo Costa just going to help him, but all the eyes at the moment on Cristiano Ronaldo. Just showing a replay of the little chest pass he did over to William Carvalho. He'll be fuming not to get an assist there. It was a very audacious effort from Carvalho. And if that went in, that would have been the headline. Fantastic work from Ronaldo to get the ball up to him initially. But then the volley from Carvalho would have been something special. Excuse me, as Diogo Costa gets that ball back in midfield. In the net. Ruben Diaz has a little bit of pressure on. Cavani is to his right. And I'll tell you what, the ball has been dispossessed and Bentancur wins it back, but William Carvalho is back in there again. He's had a good opening 10 minutes or so, or 7 minutes. This is Nuno Mendes, whips the ball up, switches it, and Ronaldo will win that header, leaps up, and Bruno Fernandes now 30 yards out, has a shot, but it's bobbling wide, and it goes wide for a Uruguay goal kick. But that was really good work from Cristiano Ronaldo, really rose up to win that header. He must have been really high up in the air, and it's Bruno Fernandes. It was a really scuffed shot, honestly, and it goes wide for a Uruguay goal kick. So 7 minutes and change gone here, and you are listening to the commentary hub. Still 0-0 between Portugal and Uruguay as Nuno Mendes picks the ball up, just tries to drive on a little bit, and will do. He can keep driving if he wants to. A little bit of pressure from Bentancur over to William Carvalho. Carvalho just turns around a little bit. He's got time to switch it if he wants to, but he opts to pass back to Ruben Diaz. Diaz over to Bernardo Silva, back to Carvalho, and then back to Silva again. Ruben Diaz, a little bit of triangle passing going on here for Portugal. As Ruben Neves switches the ball over to Pepe, who shoots a long ball forwards, and it's going to go into the clutches. Actually, it's going to go to João Felix, who has managed to pick that ball up just to the left-hand side. And Bernardo Silva, if he wants to cross, then he can, but he opts to pass to Ronaldo, who's dropped it just a little bit deeper than usual. And now it's back to Nuno Mendes on the left-hand side. He's got João Felix for support, but opts to pass to Ronaldo. Ronaldo drives on. It's Bruno Fernandes. And dispossessed by Jimenez there. It was really good defending, and that's going to be another goal kick for Uruguay as Bruno Fernandes tried to get that ball back. And it was really good give and go play actually from Cristiano Ronaldo. It looks like Bernardo Silva would have been onside, but the ball was just trailing over to Ronaldo rather than rather than Silva. Short goal kick taken this time, but it's a long ball forward by Coates. Dispossessed by Portugal this time. It's Ruben Diaz who can get the ball forward, and it'll only go to a Uruguay player. But Bernardo Silva tussles with Bentancur. But dispossessed again by Bentancur. Ball up by Roque. Dispossessed by Ruben Neves now. It's a free header. Bernardo Silva's just in an offside position. It's going to be a free kick to Uruguay. You can see the Portugal fans in their large numbers. The Uruguay fans are there as well, but the Portugal fans making all the noise at the moment. Big opportunity now for Uruguay just to get the ball forward. They're in the Lusail iconic stadium in Lusail, Qatar this evening, the capital of Qatar. As Vitinho just loses the ball a little bit cheaply. Now over to Bruno Fernandes, who also loses the ball a bit too cheaply for his liking. Cortés dispossessed him, and now Darwin Núñez can run down the left wing. He's not got much for support. João Cancelo is right on his tail, but it's going to be a corner to Uruguay, who's very, very happy. Darwin Núñez is very happy with the progress that he made there, and he's won his team the corner. And this is the first corner of the evening for both teams. As they just get prepared in the box now. What sort of corner is this going to be? You'd assume it'd be the likes of Jimenez, Godin, who would get on the end of this corner, but it's a short one. And the ball whipped in by Oliveira, and it's over the bar. It was a free header, won this time by Jimenez. It was Jimenez that did win the header, and it just looped up and then down, and it just went over the bar. And that's going to be a goal kick to Portugal. So 11 minutes gone now. It's been pretty much all Portugal until the last minute or so. As Nuno Mendes gets the ball, João Felix, there's a little bit of tussling going on, and that's going to be a free kick Portugal's way, given by the referees. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving going on between João Felix and Jimenez, two teammates as well. A little bit of banter, you could say, but it's going to be Nuno Mendes on this free kick just outside the Uruguay half. William Carvalho short to Ruben Neves, who has pressure applied instantly. No foul this time. Oh no, it's going to be a foul, and I think there's some afters between the two players. It's Ruben Diaz. He's not happy whatsoever with some of the decisions that are being made early on in this game. He needs to watch out, because he will get a yellow card, I'm sure, after that. Yeah, Ruben Neves. It was just a little bit of afters from Bentancur again, who is on a yellow card. So he needs to be careful here. Uruguay, they do like playing like a nice bit of hold-up play, some combination play between two strikers, and that's just not what they had in their previous game. But with them playing with wing-backs this time, they'll be able to be supported by, in this case, it could possibly be two wingers. Narrow positioning can help them get into the good positions in transition as well. But we'll just have to see what happens in this game. But we are 13 minutes down in Lusail. It's still 0-0 between Portugal and Uruguay as Pepe puts the long ball forward. Godin wins the free header, and it's Darwin Núñez who wins the header this time as well. Ruben Diaz loses the ball. Bentancur, a little bit of a high foot, but gets away with it this time. Oliveira loses the ball now, and this is a chance for Portugal to have a little bit of a counter-attack. It's Cristiano Ronaldo over to Bernardo Silva. The play slows down a little bit. Over to Ronaldo again. Bruno Fernandes to Ronaldo. Ronaldo to Fernandes. Now it's William Carvalho in the middle of the park. Plays that ball to João Felix, and he loses the ball, and now it's Uruguay's turn to counter-attack. It's Vitinho who could play that ball to Núñez, and he does. It's a bit of 1-2 play, but it's not good enough from Darwin Núñez. And João Cancelo can dispossess. Back to Pepe. Back to Diogo Costa. Playing it safe. The Portugal defence. Costa back to Diaz, and he's not really getting pressured at this point in time, so he can hold on to the ball a little bit if he wants to, but opts to give it over to Nuno Mendes. And that's a really good ball forward to Cristiano Ronaldo by Mendes if he can get there. But it's going to be, I believe, is it a throw-in? Yes, it's a throw-in to Portugal. Godin dispossessed it, but he could only take it out of the play. Ronaldo now does a couple of tricky step-overs, has two people on him, over to Nuno Mendes again, who doesn't really have many options. He's got Carvalho behind him, and he opts to go to Carvalho, but they've slowed the play down a little bit too much here, and I think the opportunity to attack is gone as they do go back to the halfway line to Portugal. And there's a lot of pressure on Pepe now, who gets the ball over to Cancelo. That's Bernardo Silva. Now to Cancelo. Cancelo with the overlap in Bernardo Silva, but the ball goes out of play. And it is going to be a Uruguay throw-in, almost killing that attack for Portugal. But it was some nice little step overs by Cristiano Ronaldo. He's putting on a show so far tonight for the travelling Portugal fans. Oliveira with the throw-in, won by Portugal. Or maybe calls for a handball there as Bernardo Silva has a little bit of a juggling action with the ball. João Felix puts a little bit of pressure onto the Uruguay backline, but Uruguay try and get the ball forward, and it's dispossessed by Pepe this time. And João Felix has a good opportunity here. He has a go. It's blocked, and it goes out for a Portugal corner. A good opportunity there for Portugal to open the scoring. And João Felix, he had a lot of time. He cut inside, and he found a bit of an opening, but it was well blocked by Jimenez in the end. Like we said, it's a corner to Portugal this time. 15 minutes gone here on the commentary hub. It's still 0-0 between Portugal and Uruguay. Not many Portuguese players in the box at the moment for this corner, but we'll see what happens once the ball comes in. Ruben Diaz, a big figure, along with Cristiano Ronaldo in the box, as the referee just has a little bit of a talking to the Uruguay players. Of course, there are new rules about blocking for this World Cup. If you block, you're going to get a penalty given against you. Ronaldo on the camera at the moment. There's a player short. Is it going to go short? No, it's not. It's actually going to go to the edge of the box, to William Carvalho. I'm not sure he knew too much about that. And is that going to be a foul? Yes, it is. And this is a good opportunity here. It's a free kick for Portugal. Yeah, just stuck a leg in. Did Vitinho. Left it a little bit too late. And I think that's going to be a yellow card for the Uruguay man as well. They are preparing a wall for this free kick. And there's 3 people stood around the free kick as well. But I think we know that there's only one man who is going to take this one. Of course, it's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, as the rest of them do just get out of the way. Bruno Fernandes also looked like he might be stepping up, but he's walked away now. Roque, the Uruguay goalkeeper, has asked for a 4-man wall. A 4-man wall here to try and stop this CR7 free kick. The Portugal fans behind that goal, they've got the cameras at the ready. They're expecting something good to happen here. Ronaldo trying to keep a straight face. He just gets a little bit of focus. He's got a couple of players as well to the right of him if he wants to do it, but he is going to opt for a shot here. It's Ronaldo off the wall and out for a Portugal corner. It had a lot of power to it, but it didn't have the height or the direction. Just went off the head of Vitinho, who lost or who conceded the free kick, who gave the free kick away. So good redemption for him. As Bernardo Silva is on this corner kick. It's going to go short this time. And then whipped in by Ruben Neves. But it was a scuffed, horrible corner. And the ball has gone out for, I believe it's another corner kick this time, actually. Yes, it is another corner kick, excuse me. As it's Bruno Fernandes this time. That's going to have a little bit of an outswinger rather than the in-swinger that they were opting for previously. As Raul Jimenez is getting another talking to, I think just regarding a little bit of pushing that's going on. As Bruno Fernandes sends the corner in, and that goes past all of them, and it goes out for a throw into Uruguay. So a bit of a wasted opportunity there. It was a good couple of minutes for Portugal to try and just capitalise on a cheap foul given away. It was a yellow card for Vitinho as well, I believe. So it's 2 players on yellow cards at the moment for both for Uruguay. Excuse me, it's only the one, Bentancur with the yellow card. It's Ruben Neves now in the middle of the park. Back to Ruben Diaz on the left-hand side now as he gets the ball over to Nuno Mendes. He's got Bernardo Silva for support. Over to Neves. Now to Cancelo on the right-hand side. Back to Neves, who has a little bit of more pressure on him. Nuno Mendes on the left-hand side now. Whips that ball in. It's intercepted and cleared away, but only as far as João Cancelo, who could get the ball back in. But he opts to go to Bernardo Silva. The ball's whipped in and dispossessed again, and it's Ruben Neves, who has a shot, and it's blocked. And now there's a counter-attack here for Uruguay as Carvalho gets that ball forward to Darwin Núñez, chests it down really well. And now this is Valverde, but loses the ball to Nuno Mendes, and that's going to go out for a Portugal throw-in. That was a really good opportunity to just get that ball forward for Uruguay, take the pressure off. As we reach the 20-minute mark in this game, not a lot has happened so far, but Portugal definitely the better of the two sides. Uruguay just opting to sit off more than usual, I must say. In the previous game, they were trying to get the long balls forward to the likes of Suarez and Núñez, as Nuno Mendes is just urging their players to come forward. Ronaldo's had to drop a lot deeper again just to try and get that ball in play, as Pepe gets the ball back in the defence of Portugal. Back to the goalkeeper, Diogo Costa now. They've got Rui Patricio on the bench if they need him as well. Formerly of Wolves, now at Roma, is the Portuguese man. Back to Diogo Costa, though, for the time being. And Uruguay, I think, despite all the sitting off, they are playing quite a high line, and they are they do like to press a little bit more than usual. It's a ball flicked forward by Ruben Diaz, but it only goes as far as Diego Godin, who touches that ball down really well and takes it back to Rocher. But Pepe wins that ball that goes up in the air. Dispossessed, though, by Vitinho this time. And now Uruguay can counter-attack as the ball trying to get lofted over to Núñez, but Pepe did really well to dispossess it. And now Carvalho can start a counter-attack for Portugal. A bit of a give and go with Cristiano Ronaldo. It's Carvalho again. This is good football by the Portuguese men. Carvalho, give and go once again. It is Ronaldo. A nice little sweep. And he gets into the box, does Ronaldo. A little look up from Bernardo Silva. It's over to Carvalho, though, on the edge of the box. A flick forward, and it's a good opportunity to just get that ball into the box, but nothing doing for Portugal. And Uruguay can attack the ball now. As it's the ball goes out of play, and I think, yes, that's Bruno Fernandes who is down. Bruno Fernandes is down. And he's back up again. Let's see just what happened on the replay. And it looks like just a little bit of afters between Vitinho and Bruno Fernandes, but nothing too much in it. And we do resume play. 22 minutes down here. You are listening to the Commentary Hub, the official home of alternative commentary for the World Cup 2022 in Qatar, as Bernardo Silva plays a beautiful pass and Ruben Neves gets the ball to Ronaldo. Ronaldo's in the box now, whips the ball in, but there's no one there. There's no one there for Ronaldo's ball to get picked up on. As João Cancelo can put the ball back in. Blocked, but it goes back to Cancelo. Bruno Fernandes now whips the ball in, and it's João Felix on the edge of the box who's got the ball. Now to Carvalho. João Felix again. Back to Ruben Neves, who gets the ball over to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, a little back heel to Bruno Fernandes, plays that ball in short. And Bernardo Silva is taking a fair few touches in the box here. He could have turned and attacked the goal. It's João Cancelo. He just slows the play down a little bit. Here's Ruben Neves now, over to Pepe. Pepe back to Ruben Diaz. Diaz to Carvalho. Over to Neves. Neves over to Pepe now. The players slowed down a little bit more, but that was a good opportunity if Bernardo Silva just had a little turn. Ruben Diaz over to Neves. Neves to Bernardo Silva, who's dropped a little bit deeper now, playing in that midfield role, to Ruben Diaz. João Felix, now inside the Uruguay half, and back into the Portugal half. A switch ball, possibly. No, it's not a switch ball. Back to Ruben Neves. Ball forward to Bruno Fernandes, however. Now it's Nuno Mendes. Back to Fernandes. And a switch ball, there it is, to João Cancelo. Touched it down really well with his chest. But he's not got many options, and he's having to play backwards, which isn't what he wants to do. Diaz now in the middle of the park. Into the Uruguay half they are now. A bit of give and go with William Carvalho and Bruno Fernandes. As there's a chance, and Bruno Fernandes, ball just goes over the top of him. Unfortunate for Bruno Fernandes, and Nuno Mendes takes the ball out, and it's a goal kick to Uruguay, but a good opportunity there. But the ball, sorry, it was Bernardo Silva. The ball just scuffed under his feet, and there's nothing doing there for the Portuguese man, but that was a good opportunity. They're getting into good positions here, Portugal, and they've got to make one of these opportunities count soon before anything bad happens. Goal kick taken short, but the ball is looped forward, and Pepe, at 39 years old, is still rising as high as he can and winning the headers. But now it's Bentancur who dispossesses the ball in Uruguay with a chance, but quickly dispossessed. Darwin Núñez over to William Carvalho, to Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes now in to Ruben Diaz. They're just being forced back here, really. The tight line of Uruguay means that they can't really get the ball forward as much as they would have liked. João Cancelo, though, on the right-hand side, into Ruben Neves. Pepe gets the ball back to Diogo Costa. We've got 26 minutes on the clock here at the commentary hub. 0-0 between Portugal and Uruguay in the 2022 World Cup. Ruben Diaz over to João Cancelo, his teammate at Manchester City. Pepe, who has just plenty of time on the ball, a little bit too much time, really, to Cancelo again. Ruben Neves over to Nuno Mendes now on the left-hand side. They've switched the play here. Have Portugal. Portugal absolutely dominant in possession at the moment. There's a long ball forward by Ruben Neves. And is Bruno Fernandes going to catch it? No, he's not, unfortunately. That was a really good attempt from Ruben Neves to get that ball forward. He saw the charge and run of Bruno Fernandes, but it goes out for a goal kick to Uruguay here. A bit of a somber mood at the moment in the Lusail Stadium in Lusail, Qatar, as they are just waiting for that one big moment. Could it be from the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo or Edison Cavani? Pepe back to Diogo Costa. Diogo Costa over to Cancelo here, who's dropped a little bit deeper than usual. Flicks the ball up back to Pepe, who's in his own box at the moment. He maybe wants to get out of that place. William Carvalho to Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes just drives the ball out of play, unfortunately, as João Felix just loops the ball behind him, and the Portuguese manager gives the ball back. Nice and easy. So, Bruno Fernandes on camera at the moment. And dispossessed. It goes out for a Portugal throw-in. These two managers, Fernando Santos, I think especially, will be thinking, what is going on here? I've got a feeling Diego Alonso, the Uruguay manager, will be happy with the way that their team is playing at the moment. But they just need to get a little bit more of the ball. They need to control the ball a bit more as Ronaldo slices the ball. And it's a counter-attack here for Uruguay, but quickly dispossessed by Pepe. But it's not over yet. It's Varela. Oh, now it is over. Varela lost the ball. Switch over to João Cancelo from Bruno Fernandes, and they can drive on a little bit if he wants to. Over to Bernardo Silva. Silva to Ruben Neves as the ball goes into the box. And it's headed into the hands of Rocher. It was a good attempt by Bruno Fernandes. But that's the first shot on target this evening. Oh, you know what? I think he was actually offside. But of course, the delayed calls mean that you won't know until afterwards. Yeah, he is quite far offside, at least a yard offside there. Godin now, deep in the Uruguay half. Back to Jimenez. Over to Rocher, who I think they just want to get their touches in at the moment, get a little bit more possession. This is Bentancur, who can drive on a little bit more if he wants to, and he does, but passes the ball over to Jimenez. Jimenez back to Bentancur. Bentancur to Caceres. Oh, and that ball was going to go over to Vitinho, but nothing doing this time. It's a big tackle from Vitinho to win the ball back deep in the Portugal half, across, blocked, and out for a throw-in, blocked by Pepe, who covered for João Cancelo quite nicely there. Could be a big throw-in here for Uruguay. as we're approaching the 30-minute mark, and it is still 0-0 here. They're in front of the Uruguay faithful for this first half, our Uruguay. It looks like he just hasn't got many options, has Oliveira. It goes out for another throw-in to Uruguay. Oliveira will be the taker of this one again. Taken shortly to Bentancur. Bentancur back to Coates. Coates Sigodden in the middle of the park now, but there's a little bit of pressure from William Carvalho. And the pace once again being slowed down quite a lot. Is Diego Godin. Back to Roche. Ball up, forward. Oh, Nunes, I believe, just got the better of João Cancelo on that header. As Pepe is under a little bit of fire here. A little bit of pressure from the Uruguay men. But it goes out for another Uruguay throw. And this is a little bit more like it from the Uruguay team, who have been a little bit lackluster going forward in this first half. As we are ahead of the half-an-hour mark here on the commentary hub. Pepe has had a good game at the moment. Ruben Neves absolutely smashes that ball. There's a little bit of a 50-50, but Jimenez wins out on the header. It's over to Darwin Núñez, dispossessed by Pepe, though, and the ball goes up and back into the Uruguay half and back to the Uruguay goalkeeper. But Godin will get that ball back nice and quickly. Over to Varela here on the right-hand side. Back to Godin. A little bit of pressure here from Portugal. It's Cristiano Ronaldo just tries to put a little bit of pressure on. Godin heads that ball away as it goes up in the air. Here's Bentancur, who can drive on. There's a Portugal player down, but they're going to ignore it for the time being. That's brilliant from Bentancur. Oh, and it's a great save from Diogo Costa. It's a little bit of a 1-2 with his own feet, really, for Bentancur. Gets past 3 Portugal defenders at the same time, and it was a fantastic opportunity for the opening goal. That was the chance of the half so far. We'll have a look at it on the replay here. From his own half, Bentancur just drives on. He has a little bit of a think about it, but he goes right and then he cuts back left and takes William Carvalho and Ruben Diaz out of the game at the same time. And it's a fantastic save from Diogo Costa. Just hits the underside of his leg and catches the ball as quick as you like. Brilliant save, and he's bailed his defenders out of it there. Without a doubt, massive chance for Uruguay to open the scoring. And you can see the frustration on Bentancur's face as well. He knew that was a big opportunity to score that goal there. It's also Uruguay's first shot on target. Diogo Costa looks a little bit lost here as he picks the ball up. Darwin Núñez. Ronaldo drops deep to pick the ball up. Oh, and it's dispossessed by Varela, and it's another counter-attack opportunity for Uruguay, but dispossessed. It was a poor pass from Cavani, but now there's a chance for a Portugal counter-attack here as the game is coming to life. Here's Bernardo Silva on the edge of the box, looking for a cross, but won't get there. Has to pass it back to Nuno Mendes. The ball is still alive here, though, for Portugal. As he goes back to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes has a little bit of space to pass if he wants to, and he does. Gets it over to João Cancelo on the right-hand side here. Cancelo in the final third here. Most players in the final third now for Portugal. As it's João Felix again. Over to Ronaldo, who's got some space if he wants to shoot. And he does, and it hits his own player. It's hit Bruno Fernandes. I'm not sure if the ball was going to go in anyways. And João Felix now is going to have a go, and it's hit Bernardo Silva this time. It's hit his own player, and it goes out for a goal kick. Yeah, that was twice in a row. Yeah, it's just hit off Bernardo Silva. That was going to go on target, definitely. But we're going to see that replay again. That was a massive opportunity for Uruguay to open the scoring. The best chance of the half, without a doubt, but it's a fantastic save from Diogo Costa just to keep that ball at bay and get it away from Bentancur as well. to prevent any follow-up shots. And Fernando Garcia is fuming. He can tell that was a big chance to open the score, and that ball reaches Darwin Núñez over to Bentancur now. Bentancur dribbling. Once again, this is really good football as he gets it over to the left-hand side, and it's Bentancur who has a chance, and Darwin Núñez once again tries, and it's out for a goal kick to Portugal this time. As the ball came in, Núñez just didn't really know too much about it. He tried to control it. It's in the 6-yard box where he's got the ball. He tried to control it, but it goes out for a goal kick this time to Portugal. We are 10 minutes away from half time, or 10 minutes plus stoppage time, as Diogo Costa just urges his men to get a little bit further up the pitch. He's taking his time. It's going to be a short one over to João Cancelo. Back over to Diogo Costa now. Ball high up in the air by Diogo Costa. Goes to Jimenez, who chests it down. Over to Godin. A little bit of pressure from João Felix now, who's going to give Rocher a good go. But the ball goes out for a Portugal throw, and I think the pressure that was applied by João Felix was just enough to take that ball out of play. And now we see Bernardo Silva on the ball, deep into the Portugal half. William Carvalho to Ronaldo. Over to Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes, who skips past the player and keeps the ball, drives on really well. And now they're in the final third here. Big opportunity now for Portugal. Shot blocked from Uruguay by Bruno Fernandes. Ball goes in by João Cancelo, and it's Ronaldo who is going to chest it down. And a big opportunity here for Ronaldo. Saved by the Uruguay goalkeeper Rocher. That was a big chance. It was a really good bit of play from Cristiano Ronaldo. Now it's a throw-in to Portugal this time. The attack is still on for Portugal. The ball with Ruben Diaz now. Over to Nuno Mendes on the left-hand side. They're slowing the play down a little bit. Portugal. João Felix now could speed things up. Over to William Carvalho. Ball switched over to João Cancelo, but cut out by Oliveira that time. And now it's Coates who will get that ball forward to Darwin Núñez, who can drive on a little bit more if you want and start this Uruguay counter-attack. And he does. This is really good dribbling by Darwin Núñez. Gets the ball over to Varela, the number 13. And it's a foul. That's going to be a free kick to Uruguay in a dangerous position. It's a yellow card for Ruben Neves, the first yellow card for Portugal this game. A big opportunity here for Uruguay. That was a little bit against the run of play there. That's a yellow card, like we said, for Ruben Neves, who just ties that long hair up. But he needed to do that just to cut out that counter-attack. Yeah, he went down, just kept a hold of him as he went down. So let's see how many men will be in this wall. I think it might just be a one-man wall here. It's not really shooting distance for Uruguay. As Valverde is on this ball, the Real Madrid man, who is having an absolutely fantastic season in his own right. It's a two-man wall. It's Nuno Mendes and Bernardo Silva in the wall. Valverde is just looking which player he's going to go for. The ball on the spot now. There's a little bit of tussling going on once again in the box as the referee just has to have a little bit of a say, and it's still going on even more. And the referee is just saying, "Look, come on, let's calm it down, guys. They want to get the ball in." The referee leaves the 18-yard box now. A lot of shirts in as the ball is whipped in now. It's cleared out the way, but only as far as Bentancur on the left-hand side. Ball goes back in, dispossessed and cleared away by William Carvalho, and that takes the pressure off Portugal for a few seconds at least, as Varela takes that ball back to Rocher. Rocher, big kick up. There's still a few Uruguay players up in the air, but João Cancelo wins that header really well. Only as far as Oliveira in this case, though. Oliveira to Darwin Núñez, tries to just backheel the ball, but it comes off João Cancelo. That's Nuno Mendes, who is on the floor, and we could have a problem here for Nuno Mendes. Yeah, they are ushering the medics onto the pitch. They're saying it might be a bit of a hamstring problem for Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes, who has had a really good game thus far, has come in replace of Rafael Guerreiro. I think they are just taking some caution. It might actually be a concussion problem for Rafael Guerreiro. Fernando Santos does have Guerreiro on the bench if he wants him, though. Oh, and it would be a shame if he has to go off here. Young Nuno Mendes. He's had nine caps for Portugal. This will be his 10th cap. His 6th star for Portugal as well. He wasn't a squad member for the Euro 2020 squad. He's been really, really good for PSG this season as well, and you can tell he's upset with that, and he is going to have to come off, unfortunately. 17 so far for PSG, 2 goals in all competitions. It was a permanent move that he completed at the start of the season. Oh, but it is unfortunate. He was on loan, of course, last season at PSG, and he goes straight down the tunnel. And it is Rafael Guerreiro who does come onto the pitch. Rafael Guerreiro donning the number 5 shirt for Portugal as play does resume now. It's Bentancur again, who has space to drive forward if he wants to. Now cleared away. Ball up to Varela, but he won't get there. He will not get there. So 42 minutes gone in this game so far on the commentary hub. It is 0-0 between Portugal and Uruguay as Rafael Guerreiro, the man of Borussia Dortmund, has come onto the pitch and he takes this throw in. Ball dispossessed by Uruguay, and it's Varela on the right-hand side as the ball is whipped in but cleared away by Ruben Diaz. Oh, and a header. A bit of a high foot there from one of the Uruguay players, but nothing doing as the ball goes back. And that is Valverde who pulls Bruno Fernandes down. And Bruno Fernandes not happy with that whatsoever. It was a clear free kick for Portugal in this case. So with 43 minutes gone, we'll have a few minutes of stoppage time at least. Portugal, of course, hot off that 3-2 win against Ghana in the first game. It was a really impressive performance by both teams. And an equally impressive performance again by Ghana today. So Bruno Fernandes, total receptions, 13 receptions for Bruno Fernandes in this opening half. He'll not be happy with that. This Portugal team who have a lot of star power, of course, they won the European Championships in 2016. It's the country's first major trophy. So the ball goes for a free kick to Portugal. Ruben Neves, and there's a yellow card for... This is Oliveira this time. Oliveira, who gets the yellow card, I think just for impeding the play. Yeah, he did impede the play. Just tried to block the ball, and it was a bit of a silly one to give away. But anyways, William Carvalho to Ronaldo, who does a couple of nice little step overs and can move that ball forward. It's Rafael Guerreiro. Back to Ronaldo. A couple more step overs. Back over to Ruben Diaz at the back. Ruben Diaz over to João Felix, who just drops a little bit deeper. Rafael Guerreiro now on the left-hand side. Pushing a little bit further forward of Portugal now. Portugal. It's Ruben Diaz. Over to Carvalho. We'll have our stoppage time very shortly here. As Ruben Neves in the final third now for Portugal. João Cancelo just dispossessed, but it's going to be a Portugal throw-in, as we are going to see how much added time we'll have in just a second. It's going to be 3 minutes additional time in this first half. And the ball goes out. That is a corner to Portugal. Corner for Portugal at the end of this first half. It's a big opportunity now for Portugal to see if they can open the scoring going into half-time. That's what they'd want, as it looks like the formation has changed to more of a deep-lying 3-4-3, or a 4-3-3, sorry, for Portugal. Bruno Fernandes playing more as an attacking midfielder, as a number 10, you could say. Over to Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves dispossesses on the edge of the box, and it's out to the middle of the pitch. And all the way back to Diogo Costa. And then up into the air. Ronaldo wins that header. Goes to Ruben Diaz, but it's a free kick. A bit of impediment by CR7. Ball, yeah. Oh, Ronaldo was offside, actually, I believe, rather than the impediment. Excuse me. So Raul Jimenez. Jimenez whips that ball forward, but it is cleared away by the Portuguese goalkeeper Costa. Bentancur wins it, though, in the middle of the pitch, but it goes as far as Ruben Diaz. Diogo Costa gets the ball up, but Bentancur, who's had a really good first half, wins the ball again. Over to William Carvalho, who is fouled, and that's going to be a free kick, as we are 2 minutes into stoppage time in this first half. It's not one of the crazy times that you see, like you've seen in some of the other games. Pepe now on the right-hand side. Was looking to send that ball forward, but doesn't really have that much going for him. Ronaldo, though, drops deep. Over to João Cancelo. Dispossessed, though, by Oliveira. No foul given. The Portugal players not happy with that one whatsoever. Carvalho to Pepe. Over to Ronaldo, who was fouled. No free kick given, though. Bruno Fernandes can win the ball back. Over to João Felix. This could be the last opportunity of the first half. João Felix now gets that ball, and Rafael Guerreiro gets the ball in, and Ronaldo can't get to it on the far side of the box. We're going to have a little bit more time before the end of the first half. You are listening to the commentary up. We'll be back for the second half after this, and remember, we'll be streaming all of the World Cup games possible, as that is half time, actually. So the first half ends. It is 0-0 between Portugal and Uruguay. The chance of the match, without a doubt, goes to Rodrigo Bentancur, who managed to skip away from the likes of Ruben Diaz and William Carvalho, and the ball went under the leg of Diogo Costa. But it was fantastic heroics and a great save by the Portugal goalkeeper to keep that ball out of the net. But the first half ends, and it is Portugal 0, Uruguay 0. Welcome back, everyone. We are just a couple of minutes away from the start of the second half of Portugal taking on Uruguay in this World Cup Qatar 2022 group stage match. Just before we start the second half, you are listening to the Commentary Hub, and a big thank you to Nicholas Jones, who is behind the scenes, who is doing all the producing this evening. So very big thank you to you, Nicholas. As we all get underway very, very soon, it's going to be Portugal to kick off this time, as we can see in the Lusail Stadium in Lusail, Qatar. Them seats are absolutely lovely. The ground is filling back up, and we are on again. So this time it is Portugal shooting from right to left. It's Pepe, who had a lot of the ball in the first half. We'll see, I think, a lot of the ball in the second half as well, as it goes to Diaz and then back to Pepe. It's already starting here as he puts that long ball forward and cut away by the Uruguay man. Over to Bruno Fernandes, to William Carvalho. No changes to speak of in the second half, or at the start of the second half at least. Only the one in the first half for Portugal. It was Nuno Mendes who came off and Rafael Guerreiro who came on due to an unfortunate injury to the young Portuguese man who has had a fantastic season so far at PSG and has had a brilliant game so far before he came off, rather. A free kick, though, to Portugal, taken quickly after a foul on Cristiano Ronaldo. João Cancelo over to Pepe. Now Pepe can just hold the ball on a little bit. He can go through the lineup again. Diogo Costa in goal for Portugal with Rafael Guerreiro, Pepe, Ruben Diaz, and João Cancelo in defence. Ruben Neves is on a yellow card with William Carvalho and Bernardo Silva in midfield. It's João Felix on the left, Bruno Fernandes on the right, and Cristiano Ronaldo in the middle for Portugal. And speaking of Bruno Fernandes, just gets dispossessed there by Oliveira, and it's Bernardo Silva coming to his aid and pulls the Uruguay man down. Does Oliveira? It was well won, though, by Oliveira. A little shoulder barge just to keep him at bay, Bernardo Silva. He's got a bit more height to him, a bit more muscle. Does Oliveira compared to Silva? 2 yellow cards to speak of for Uruguay. Oliveira is on a yellow card. There's actually a chance here for Portugal. Ball dispossessed by William Carvalho deep into the final third of Uruguay's half. João Felix tries to get the ball through, but nothing doing, and it's going to go for a corner kick this time to Portugal. And it's also Rodrigo Bentancur, the other player to get a yellow card in this game. So we are just a couple of minutes down in this second half, and it's a dangerous corner here for Portugal. Bernardo Silva on top of that. Over to the box, but it's cleared away, and now Uruguay can have a counter-attack, but Cavani just a bit skew-if there. As we can go through the Uruguay lineup, it's Roche in goal, followed by Oliveira, Coates, Godin, and Jimenez. So they're playing 4-1-2-3 rather than the back four that we initially thought. Vitinho, Bentancur, and Valverde, with Darwin Núñez, Edison Cavani, and Varela as the front three. And it's a free kick this time, going Portugal's way after a stamp from Vitinho on Ruben Neves. And he stayed down here, actually. Might be in a little bit of discomfort, is Ruben Neves. It was quite a big little big bump. Let's just have a look at the bench of Portugal. He stayed down a little bit longer. Well, I'm not entirely sure what's happened there, but and then there was some afters as well between João Felix and Oliveira. Like you said, Oliveira is on a yellow card, so he needs to watch out. Ruben Neves has his hands in his head. You just hoping that it's nothing too serious for the Portuguese man, who in his own right has had a pretty decent first half. See on the bench, though, they have got a lot of firepower. João Mario is one of them. Should they need to take Ruben Neves off, he's getting helped up to his feet, and I think he should be okay. Or it was just like a knee to the back of the leg, and the muscles that these young lads have. It's quite clear that there is going to be some problems sometimes. He's hobbling a little bit, but excuse me, should be able to get off the pitch fairly nicely, but he's still holding that shin. Sorry, it's the calf muscle. So 50 minutes gone here. It's Vitinho that they're cutting the camera to. I believe that's the offender in this case. But we will get play underway once again, as Ruben Neves will be allowed back on in due course. Over to Diogo Costa, however, for the time being. Ruben Neves is back on now. Ruben Diaz. The play stopped again for some reason. Oh, this is a pitch invader. We see a pitch invader. So there is going to be a little bit of a stoppage in play, unfortunately. And they are making a statement here by they were holding up a pride flag, which the referee has now picked up. But a welcome statement, I must say, as there has been controversy around this World Cup. And that's the first pitch invader that we've seen. But that I believe now has been dealt with. Yes, it has. Ball to Diogo Costa, up, but not out really. Over to Cristiano Ronaldo now, who is now wearing short sleeves. This is a big opportunity here for Portugal. Is João Felix in the box now, has a shot. Oh, and it hits the side netting. Bruno Fernandes not happy whatsoever. He thought that he should have had the ball in the 6-yard box. It was a great chance. Really good play from Portugal. It was a left foot driven shot, and he could have found the goal there. Could have João Felix. It hits the side netting. Great opportunity there to open the scoring for Portugal, but nothing doing this time as the ball goes up to Cavani. A little bit of pressure from Darwin Núñez now, but back to Diogo Costa instead. So Portugal on the attack again now. It's going to be a free kick though to Portugal after João Felix was upended. He just looks back to sort of say, what's going on? But it's over to Pepe. Bit of pressure from Darwin Núñez. Now, Uruguay have the ball here. This is Valverde in the middle of the park. Goes to the right-hand side. Is he going to get a cross in? Yes, he will. But held nicely by the Portugal goalkeeper. Yeah, nicely held by the Portugal goalkeeper. No real issues there. As we can see, Rafael Guerreiro getting a little bit further up the pitch. Back to Ruben Diaz now. And then to Ruben Neves. Over to William Carvalho, who had a good first half in his own right. The captain now, CR7. To João Cancelo on the right-hand side. Back to the left-hand side now, just to get a little bit more space. And here we are. Second half of this game. Bruno Fernandes might look to get the ball in, which he does. And Ronaldo, big chance. And it's in. It's in there. And I think Ronaldo got the last touch. But it was a great cross from Bruno Fernandes. And Portugal open the scoring here. It might get checked for an offside. But that was the moment that Portugal were waiting for. Cristiano Ronaldo scores his second goal of the tournament. And it's 1-0 to Portugal with 54 minutes gone here. And the Portuguese travelling fans go absolutely wild. That's what he needed, Cristiano Ronaldo. And it is. And it's his 9th goal in 19 World Cup games as well. It was a great cross from Bruno Fernandes just to find the running man. We'll see it on the replay here. Fernandes just turns back a little bit. Gets that ball in with his right foot. And he's... Oh, it's tight. It's very tight for Ronaldo. They'll definitely do a VAR check, but it was a fantastic header from Ronaldo, who gets the ball into the back of the net. Great header, and it is... We'll see the replay on VAR here. It's incredibly tight, but Ronaldo did definitely get a touch on it. Or did he? I'm not too sure. The flag stays down, though, for the time being. Or it has stayed down. And it is a goal. They have given the goal. So it's 1-0 to Portugal. And Cristiano Ronaldo is the scorer of that goal. So it's 1-0 with 55 minutes gone. And Uruguay now have a mountain to climb. And Ronaldo was offside in that case. That time. A little bit too close there. But Ronaldo will be very happy with that goal there. Without a doubt, he'll be very happy. Anyway, Back to Roche, this is. Over to the number 19, that's Sebastian Coates, who's been very quiet this game, I must say, in that defensive position. Cavani drops deep but loses the ball. Bruno Fernandes over to Ronaldo. Big chance here, but Ronaldo's a bit too selfish and loses the ball, but it only goes as far as Ruben Neves' the clearance. Back to Ronaldo now. He's got the option to pass to Guerrero if he wants to, but he opts not to. Oh, and he went to have a shot, and Ronaldo stays down there. And I don't know if there was some afters there as well, but Ronaldo has stayed down, and now Portugal are under the cosh here. There's a counter-attack. Darwin Núñez gets the ball in, but it's held nicely by Diogo Costa. But Ronaldo has stayed down in the end of all this. Oh, and I think, if anything, it's Darwin Núñez who's being kicked. Darwin Núñez gets a little touch of the ball. And let's have a look. We can see the semi-automated offside. And Cristiano Ronaldo, judging by the semi-auto offside, he is onside. Of course, it's the lead foot that you have to go by. I don't even know if he touches the ball there. If it has, it's skimmed his hair, if anything. But that was enough to guide the ball into the back of the net. And it is 1-0 to Portugal. And like we said, Ronaldo's 9th goal in 19 games in the Premier League. 119 goals with the Portugal national team. He is the top scorer for Portugal. He's the top international scorer as well. But the ball comes in for Uruguay, and it's Cavani. Oh, and it's a squandered effort. That was a big, big chance for Uruguay to level the score in there. But it stays 1-1 as it stands. He just didn't get a good enough connection on it, did Cavani. Pepe, all he could do is just watch that ball go across the face of goal and see it out. But it is going to be a goal kick now to Portugal. Diogo Costa just saying for his men to get a little bit narrower. Bruno Fernandes wants that ball played forward to João Felix now. Portugal on the attack once again. Here's William Carvalho driving on. This is really good football now from Portugal. Over to João Cancelo on the left-hand side. Cancelo back to Carvalho. Carvalho over to Neves, who looks to Guerrero. Possibly a give and go here between Bernardo Silva and Guerrero, but nothing doing this time. And they're forced to go back as well, actually. Oh, Portugal. Pepe now, who's had a fantastic game. Of course, age is just a number in this case. Carvalho loops that ball back over to Ruben Diaz, who touches it down nicely. Bit of pressure from Uruguay now to push out a little bit more. But Ruben Neves does really well to keep that ball. Short pass over to Carvalho by Pepe. Carvalho to Cancelo, blocked off. And now it's a chance for a counter-attack for Uruguay. And Uruguay have Darwin Núñez on the ball. And he's going to shoot Darwin Núñez, but it trickles down and goes into the clutches of Diogo Costa. We're approaching the 60-minute mark here on the commentary hub. It is 1-0 to Portugal. The Cristiano Ronaldo header has made it 1-0. And as it stands, Portugal could be going through to the round of 16. So Ruben Neves in the middle of the park loses the ball. And now Uruguay have a counter-attack here. This is Federico Valverde. Over to Bentancur. Back to Valverde. Back to Bentancur again. A little bit of space in the box for a player if they want to get across. But he opts to get it to Coates in this case. Coates over to Godin. Back to Bentancur in the middle of the park now. But there's a lot of pressure from this Portugal side. Over to Oliveira now. Back to Bentancur. It seems like a lot of the football is coming through Bentancur for Uruguay. Oliveira with a little bit of an opportunity to Darwin Núñez. Bentancur. Over to Valverde. To Varela, to Valverde. Ball is going to get whipped in, and it goes up and over the heads as Darwin Núñez tries to get that ball back, but nothing doing. And that's going to go out for a throw-in to Uruguay. As we can see Luis Suarez on the bench, you wonder what sort of impact he could make if he came onto the pitch, possibly replacing Cavani. Maybe a little bit more pace, possibly. But I think just the football in general hasn't been good enough for Uruguay. It'll take a miracle at the moment for them to come back into this game. It's going to be another throw into Portugal. As we see, there's a double change being prepared here for Uruguay. Facundo Palestri and Jojan de Arrascaeta are going to be the two players that come on. But there's a handball there from Darwin Núñez, and it is going to be a free kick to Portugal. And we are going to see the two changes now. Yeah, ball just kicked up, went into Darwin Núñez's hand. So Palestri and Jorjan, I'll call him Jorjan. And it's Diego Godin who's going to come off, actually. So they were, of course, playing the five at the back. It's Godin and Vicinho, the two players that are coming off for Palestri and Jorjan. So this is a bit of a tactical change now for Uruguay, who are opting to play a little bit more attacking football here. But it's Portugal who are on the ball at the moment. As it's William Carvalho as we get into the final third. But Carvalho just lets the ball roll under his feet. And it goes back into the Portugal half. A bit of pressing by Darwin Núñez. And he's going to keep going as Darwin Núñez all the way back to the goalkeeper. And there's a lot of pressure here from Valverde. And it gets deflected. And it goes out. Oh, it doesn't actually go out. But Pepe, a little bit of a rare error, you could say, from Pepe, as the ball goes out for a Uruguay throw-in. But that was great pressure from Valverde to force the block and make it go out for a throw-in. Anyway, we can see there's a foul off the ball, but they're going to play the advantage here. It was Bruno Fernandes and Bentancur who just occurred a little problem there, but they're all good now. Bentancur loops the ball up, but dispossessed once again. And that's Jorjan who wins the header. And it almost goes into the final third for Palestri, but nothing doing. And the ball out by Oliveira. It goes for a Portugal throw-in. As you just see the replay, bang, a big chance for Valverde to maybe get that ball into the net, but nothing doing this time. Not many options there for Portugal. But he does manage to get that ball to William Carvalho. João Felix now, and this is a big chance for Portugal to double their lead. The ball goes into Cristiano Ronaldo, who goes down in the box. Nothing given, though, at the moment. And Uruguay can clear their lines. And now this is Jorjan, who can start the counter-attack for Uruguay. As the ball goes past Darwin Núñez and it goes past Pepe as well. But Ruben Diaz can do only the most he can, which is clear the ball out of the way. Ronaldo is onside that time as well. And that would have been, you would have thought it would have been 2-0. But he just falls over as the ball comes down to him and he can't do anything about it. Cleared away before that, though. Here is Bentancur again. Lots of pressure from Bernardo Silva, his Premier League counterpart, over to Coates. They're playing with a back four now, are Uruguay. Over to Varela. Then Palestri. Palestri tries to win that ball back, but nothing doing. Darwin Núñez has a little bit of a tumble, but the ball goes into Palestri now. Palestri, a little bit of a step over and tries to put that ball into the box. And Oliveira wins the header, but it's cleared away from the Portuguese men. It's Ronaldo. Oh, nothing doing on that header. And then it's another big win for Varela, but it goes back to Portugal. Ruben Diaz over to João Felix. Felix over to Ronaldo, who loses the ball, and it's going to be a Uruguay free kick for a foul off the ball. And I believe they have actually given that goal to Bruno Fernandes now, rather than Cristiano Ronaldo. As, speaking of, Bruno Fernandes tries to win the ball back from Coates, but it's a Uruguay attack now. Uruguay getting a little bit more into this game as Palestri on the right-hand side goes against Guerrero, but runs the ball out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick to Portugal this time. Yeah, just ran the ball out of play. don't think he really knew where he was going, honestly. I think, yeah, just a confirmation that they have given that goal to Bruno Fernandes's, or the ball does not hit Ronaldo's head. If it had, it would have been hair particles, if anything. But I think even with that, Ronaldo is happy as anything with that. But yes, it is confirmed, a Bruno Fernandes goal in the 54th minute. And that was the big moment of the game. As it looks like Portugal just want to slow this game down a little bit now. Bruno Fernandes hobbling a little bit. Portugal in the final third, but dispossessed by Uruguay now. There's just a little bit too much pressure on that Portuguese front three. And the ball goes up to Pepe, who once again clears that ball away, but only as far as Palestri this time. The ball goes up in the air, and Georgian wins the header, but he gets tussled for his efforts. Valverde now over to Palestri. Nice little footwork by Palestri, actually. Varela gets it over to Valverde. Now Bentancur, who can drive on, but opts to go for a long pass, and it doesn't work out. And now there's a counter-attack opportunity here for Portugal. Bruno Fernandes on the ball here. Bruno Fernandes over to Bernardo Silva, who tries to get the ball through once again to Bruno Fernandes, but nothing doing. The ball gets cleared away by Uruguay, and it goes out for a Uruguay throw-in after Ruben Neves wins the resulting header from that big kick. Anyway, Raul Jimenez over to Varela now. Varela finds Valverde in the middle of the park. Over to Bentancur, who loses the ball, dispossessed by Cristiano Ronaldo this time. A long ball forward, lost again by Bruno Fernandes. And you can see Cristiano Ronaldo at the bottom of the screen, not happy with that whatsoever. He thought that ball should have gone to him. Jimenez over to Coates. Now they're slowing the play down a bit of Uruguay. Over to Oliveira. Back to Coates. And now over to Jimenez, who has got a nice little headband on. Varela with the prominent blonde hair as the ball goes out, but it's going to be a free kick to Uruguay this time, as João Felix just left a little bit of a leg in. And we are going to see a substitution, actually. It is number 18, Ruben Neves, is coming off. And this is an attacking change, you must think. It's Rafael Leao who's coming on for Portugal. Ruben Neves has had a cracking little game. He should be really happy with the game that he's had. Rafael Leao, though, 4 appearances for Portugal, all as a substitute. Plays football in Milan, in outside of the World Cup. He scored 7 goals as well in all competitions for Milan, 6 goals in 14 league appearances. He actually scored the fastest goal in Serie A history back in 2020 after 6 seconds in AC Milan's win at Sassuolo. But back to the football as we see Georgian on the edge of the box. Over to Cavani. Oh, and dispossessed. And now there's a counter-attacking chance for Portugal as we see Bruno Fernandes gets that ball over to Cristiano Ronaldo. Over to Rafael Leao now on the left-hand side. Leao gets his first couple of touches in. Bruno Fernandes wants it. But Leao goes alone and he turns back. Maybe not the right choice. Over to Bernardo Silva now on the edge of the Uruguay box. Leao. Rafael Leao. Some fancy footwork from Leao. Oh, and dispossessed. Look for the foul, Leao, but nothing doing. And it's a counter-attacking opportunity for Uruguay. Just spent far too much time on the ball there, did Leao. Darwin Núñez goes down. It looks like the Uruguay player didn't get fouled whatsoever, and the referee is saying play on. That's Cristiano Ronaldo now on the edge of the box, and a referee, they're looking for a penalty, or Cristiano Ronaldo is looking for a penalty at least, but nothing doing. And it's end-to-end football here in the Lusail Stadium as Georgian gets that ball over to Palestri, and Palestri has the chance to attack the Portugal goal. Georgian, number 10 for Uruguay, gets the ball over to Palestri, back to Georgian. Crossed in to no one, but the ball gets back into the box, cleared away by João Felix now. And back to the Uruguay half. Interesting little bit of football for Uruguay there. That was a good little patch for Uruguay. As we see, we are past the 70-minute mark. If you're just tuning in, you are listening to alternative commentary of Portugal versus Uruguay. As we see Cristiano Ronaldo on the screen, but Luis Suarez is being prepared to come onto the pitch, as well as the number 18 for Portugal. That's Maximiliano Gomez Gonzalez. So once again, more tactical changes here for Uruguay once Suarez gets on. They want to get another experienced player on the pitch without a doubt. But can they get a goal before the start of Suarez's time on the pitch? He'll have about 20 minutes to make an impact as Georgian gets it over to Darwin Núñez. Núñez just a little bit too clumsy on the ball. Valverde, that's Oliveira. Ball goes out for a goal kick to Uruguay. To Portugal. So Gomez Gonzalez is going to come on for Darwin Núñez. And it's Edison Cavani also. It's two changes up front here for Uruguay. It's a complete attacking change for Uruguay. It's Maximiliano Gomez Gonzalez coming on for Darwin Núñez. And it's Luis Suarez. Once they get the board up, they're just taking their time here to get the board up. Cavani is eagerly waiting for the board to come up. And there you go, the number 21. It is Luis Suarez who is going to come on for Edson Cavani. So a complete attacking change for Uruguay. Hopefully for them, that is going to change their fortunes in this game. Cavani just hasn't had the service, I don't think, this game. Neither has Núñez, as we see a lovely flag for Luis Suarez in the crowd. Around 20 minutes now for Uruguay to make a difference in this game, or they could be in trouble towards the end of this group stage. They have got Ghana to play. Ghana, who have scored 5 goals in 2 games in the World Cup this year. Rafael Leao just loses the ball. He could have been away there if he had found it, but it's going to be a counter-attack now for Uruguay here. Here's Valverde. Plays that ball to no one, though. And that's going to run all the way back to the Portuguese back line. Now, a little bit of tussling going on, and the ball just seems to be going everywhere. But it's that man again, Bentancur, who's had a really good game so far. Everything is going through him at the moment. It's going to be a throw into Uruguay, and that's thanks to Bentancur, who managed to get the ball forward. You can see the Portugal players warming up on the sidelines as Luis Suarez gets his first touch in the game. It's a little 1-2 between him and Oliveira from the throw-in. Over to Jimenez. To Georgian. Over to Varela. Now Palestri, who's looked really lively since coming on the pitch, goes forward and it's clattered. But now Gomez Gonzalez over to Palestri again, who gets back up. Back to Gomez Gonzalez. Oh, and he hits the post. Hits the post from outside of the box. And that was a fantastic chance for Uruguay. And you can see that Gomez Gonzalez is really unhappy with that. Oh, that was so close for Gomez Gonzalez. He had beat the keeper, but hadn't beat the post. And it looks like, yes, Uruguay have got the ball. But now Portugal are going to start a counter-attack here. There is a player down. I believe that's Gomez Gonzalez. Oh, sorry, it's Luis Suarez that's gone down. But he's back up now. Ruben Diaz. We'll just see the replay very quickly on that chance. He was on the edge of the box. First time, curled effort. It just hit the post. But Portugal on the counter-attack now. Ball is cleared, blocked, and it hits Bernardo Silva again. Here we go. Here's the replay. It was great work from Palestri. Gets that ball over to Gomez Gonzalez. And it hits the post, hits right off the post and bounces back. No chance for Diogo Costa. And it actually comes back off Diogo Costa, pushes the ball away. And that, I think, just allows him to gain a few more seconds, get his safety back. We are in the Uruguay half now with 15 minutes plus stoppage time to go. It's currently Portugal 1, Uruguay 0 after the Bruno Fernandes goal in the 54th minute. You're listening to the commentary up here, giving you World Cup alternative commentary. We can see driving on now is Sebastian Coates. Coates plays a bit of that was an audacious ball to Oliveira, and no surprise he doesn't get to it. It's going to go another throw-in to Portugal. The Uruguay manager just looking on a little bit cautious, I think. Let's see, there's a player down again. That's Luis Suarez, and it's a free kick. And that is a yellow card now for João Felix. So João Felix has got the yellow card. Oh, yeah, it definitely was a foul from him. But it's a free kick in a very dangerous position here for Uruguay. It's an in-swinger, and Georgian is going to have an opportunity to get onto this ball. He could actually shoot if he wanted to. Georgian lining up the shot. A few white shirts in that 18-yard box. The referee is just having to get them to sort it out. And you can see the Uruguay players not happy as the ball comes in. And it goes under. And it goes... Oh, how has he missed? Luis Suarez with the biggest chance of Uruguay's game so far. And he has missed it. The ball falls to him in the 6-yard box. He's onside without a doubt. One player ducks under it, and he hits it with his left foot, and it hits the side netting. He is 3 yards out from goal, and he has sliced the ball, and it's hit the side netting. Oh, and that was such a big chance. Such a big chance for Uruguay to equalise, and such a big chance for Luis Suarez to get his goal in this World Cup. We go back to the action now as Rafael Leao on the left-hand side is dispossessed by Bentancur. Once again, what a fantastic game he's had. All he needs is just that goal that he could have had in the first half. As we see Valverde getting forward. Luis Suarez is open on the left-hand side. Here's Georgian though. Oh, saved by Diogo Costa. What a fantastic save. Georgian just tried to chip Diogo Costa, but he was level to it, was the goalkeeper for Portugal. And he keeps that ball, saves it, and gets it away. Onside is Georgian. It's a fantastic ball through by Valverde. Oh, it's so unfortunate. As Gomez Gonzalez also slips before he could get to the ball. Big header as we return to the action, though. And now this is a chance for Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United and Portugal. As we see, they've swapped wings now between João Felix and Rafael Leao. They've swapped wings, so Felix is on the right now. Bernardo Silva over to Guerrero. Rafael Leao, he's open in the Uruguay half, and he's given that ball away. As we see the stats, 11 attempts for Portugal, 9 for Uruguay. Only 2 on target apiece for each team. But Palestri gets that ball forward over to Georgian on the right-hand side. Goes for the overlap in Varela, but nothing comes from it. As Bentancur will take the throw-in for Uruguay here. We are just under 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Valverde over to Varela. Turns really well and can get that ball into the box. Cleared away by Ruben Diaz. And now Leao needs to get that ball out of the way. He's not looked incredibly sharp since coming on the pitch. And once again, gives the ball away to Rafael Leao. But Portugal win it back. Bernardo Silva gets that ball forward. And I think that was just to clear some of the danger that they had there. 80 minutes gone now. 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. It is 1-0 to Portugal at the moment. And that's a great tackle by Rafael Guerrero. But Palestri can win that ball back. And this is Varela who can get that ball into the box. And it's Suarez. Oh, Nearly had a free header cleared away by João Cancelo, though. Great clearance as Luis Suarez has made this game incredibly lively now. He's looked like the difference maker. Should have had that goal a couple of minutes ago. And it was going to be a free header if not for João Cancelo. Cancelo heads it away, though, and it's a corner to Uruguay here. Big, big opportunity here for Uruguay. Palestri on the edge of the box. It's going to come in, though, from Georgian. Not the best corner, though, and cleared away by the number 8 for Portugal. That is Bruno Fernandes. Varela. Oh, we're going to see a triple change here for Portugal. It's Mateus Nunes, João Palhinha, and we'll just see who the next Portugal player is going to be. But the 3 players that are coming off, João Felix, Cristiano Ronaldo, and William Carvalho, 3 players who have had pretty good games in their own right. Cristiano Ronaldo may not be happy with the substitution, but we'll just see. As Ronaldo gives Pepe, 39-year-old Pepe, the captain's armband. So it's Goncalo Ramos, the 3rd player. So Mateus Nunes, Goncalo Ramos, and João Palhinha, who are coming on for Portugal just to see this game out, I believe. And we'll just see the replay of that goal. And it's, Ronaldo, no, he doesn't get his head on it. So it is going to be a Bruno Fernandes goal in the end of the day. Ronaldo comes off. He can be happy with his performance without a doubt. But the game gets to it as João Palhinha, the Fulham man, loses the ball. And it's Georgian on the right-hand side for Uruguay. Over to Varela, who gets the ball in, cleared away. And now a counter-attacking opportunity for Portugal here. Bernardo Silva keeps that ball and he can drive on as they head into the Uruguay half. It's Bernardo Silva again. Nice little play between him and Bruno Fernandes. Turns one of the players, goes back into the Portugal half, though, just to take some of the pressure on a little bit. Or take some of the pressure off, rather. Rafael Leao can keep the ball, does keep the ball. What's he going to do now? Has a shot, and it goes just wide of the mark. He had a chance to pass there, a couple of chances to pass, but opted not to. And the ball does go wide for Rafael Leao. We're back underway, though. This is Jimenez. They want to get this ball forward. They've not got much longer left. Over to, that is Guerreiro now for Portugal. Leao. Over to João Palhinha. Now João Cancelo starts an attack for Portugal. Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side. Back to Cancelo. Cancelo back to Fernandes now. Now over to 23 for Portugal. And the ball comes in, and that is Goncalo Ramos, who's going to try for it. João Cancelo now on the edge of the box. Over to Mateus Nunes. Mateus Nunes back to Bernardo Silva. And dispossessed, and Uruguay can clear away. And Luis Suarez wins the header. And Palestri, just loses it. And Guerreiro now looks around. He's still got Palestri on him, but it now goes over to Leao. Over to Guerreiro. Now over to Mateus Nunes, who gets squabbled a little bit. And now Uruguay win the ball back. But now João Palhinha wins the ball back for Portugal. And it's 2 number 6s. It's Bentancur and João Palhinha are both battling for the ball. And it's a free kick to Uruguay now as we keep going. Around 5 minutes left plus stoppage time here in the Lusail Stadium. Jimenez to Coates. Taking the time now, Uruguay. They need to get that ball at the pitch, really. Jimenez again. Over to Oliveira. Oliveira loses the ball, but it's going to be a throw-in to Uruguay. They're actually going to see another change, and it's Oliveira on for Viña. So Viña is going to take that left-back roll-up. Ball switched over to Varela. Over to Palestri now. who gets fouled, and it's going to be a free kick now to Uruguay in a pretty good position as Palestri just stays down a little bit longer. Maybe a bit of an issue for him. Yeah, it was just a little bit of a clatter. Ball back in play, though. Valverde has space and shoots. It goes over the bar, and that'll go for a Portugal free kick. Portugal goal kick. As we see the Uruguay fans, they are in good spirits still. They still believe. Some of the Uruguay fans maybe a little more nervous as their team is currently losing. Portugal fans, though, they're feeling the nerves of this moment. Ball goes up from the goal kick, Goncalo Ramos, and it's a free kick to Uruguay again. Just a few minutes left now in this game between Portugal and Uruguay. You've been listening on the commentary hub. To the right-hand side. Not a lot of options for that Uruguay man, though. Bentancur. Over to Vela. Vela can walk with the ball a little bit, but dispossessed by João Cancelo. Tackles are flying in at the moment, but it's a counter-attacking opportunity. Bernardo Silva ran on. Bruno Fernandes, nothing doing there. João Palhinha wins the header. It's going to go out for a throw into Uruguay now. A little bit wasteful in possession with Portugal there. You can see the Portugal manager, he's just trying to hold that team on. Could be a second win in as many games in the World Cup for Portugal. And at the moment, Portugal will get their revenge as well after Uruguay knocked them out in the round of 16 in the 2018 World Cup. Here's Coates now again. Long ball up to Vela. And you're trying to win the ball back again. But now it's a counter-attack, and it's a good counter-attacking opportunity here for Portugal. Goncalo Ramos has gone forward. Bruno Fernandes now will try and win the ball. And Bernardo Silva, gets it back. It's Bernardo Silva who still has a chance. Now it's Bruno Fernandes who gets the ball through the player's legs, and they're calling for a handball here, but the play is still going on. It's Bernardo Silva, and it's blocked. But now João Palhinha has the ball. Bruno Fernandes not happy at all, and he's still calling for the handball. As they're in the final third here, this is Matheus Nunes now. They've slowed the play down a little bit. Matheus Nunes looks like he's going to the corner, but it's going to be a corner for Portugal here. And are we going to see a replay of that handball? Oh, that is a handball, and it's quite possible that it could go to VAR here. But Ruben Diaz has been booked. He's been given a yellow card for excessive complaining, I think. But I think in reality, you never know these days, but that was a big moment in this game. Bruno Fernandes is still not happy with the decision. And I just wonder if the referee is going to... No, nothing doing here. So it is going to be a corner with 3 minutes to go. 1 minute plus stoppage time. Well, the referee now is saying, and they are going to VAR. They are going to go to VAR. And the referee is going to take a look now. The referee is going to take a look. And they're asking for my player of the match. I'm going to say my player of the match is Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is my man of the match for this commentary. As we look, and it looks, I think there could be a penalty here for Portugal. The ball is clearly being handled. And the referee is going to come. He comes back onto the pitch. And the decision is, he's taking his time. And he points to the spot, and it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Portugal in the 90th minute of the game. Portugal have a penalty to make it 2-0 now. So this is a massive opportunity for Portugal to double their lead and possibly take them to the last 16 of the World Cup. And Goncalo Ramos going straight over to the touchline, not to scuff the to try and get them to not scuff the penalty spot at all. Big opportunity now to make this game 2-0. Huge opportunity here. And you wonder who is going to step up for this penalty. Is it going to be Bruno Fernandes? Is it going to be Bernardo Silva? There's a few players stepping over who want to take it. One of them is Rafael Leao. Rafael Leao could take a penalty. And Vinya has just tried to scuff the pitch a little bit. But there's 5 players stood around the penalty spot now, I think, just to make sure that there's no dirty work going on. But it's going to be a penalty to Portugal to make it 2-0 here. As we are in stoppage time, we haven't had official confirmation of how long the stoppage time is going to be, but the penalty is going to be taken very soon, as long as we can, as soon as we can get everything sorted. And who's going to be on the penalty here? Uruguay fans, they are in disbelief. And it's going to be, I believe, João Cancelo. How Cancelo is going to take the penalty here. And this is a big opportunity. Oh, sorry, it's Bruno Fernandes who has stepped up to take the penalty. So the Manchester United man playing for Portugal in this World Cup has a chance to make it 2-0 as we have 9 minutes additional time. So a big opportunity now to double their lead. Bruno Fernandes has the chance. He steps up to take the penalty. Millions of Portuguese hearts could either be broken or made as Bruno Fernandes steps up and he scores, and it's 2-0 to Portugal, and that should seal the game for Portugal and take them to the last 16 of the World Cup. It's a 2-0 lead. It was as cool as you like from Bruno Fernandes. He had a little hop, skip, and then a jump, and then he took the penalty, as the Uruguay fans are not happy whatsoever. And it went into the bottom left corner of the penalty. And Bruno Fernandes, my man of the match, the man of the match for this game, has made it 2-0 to Portugal, sent the keeper the wrong way. And that should be game and set for Portugal. 2-0 in the 94th minute now. But we'll assume we'll get a little bit more time in this game because of the issues that we had a little bit earlier on in the game. Bruno Fernandes. Ronaldo, you can see on the touchline there, very happy with that goal. He's not played the full 90 minutes, but, you know, being a team player that he is in this game, he'll be happy just to make it 2-0. And the Portugal players have just got to come back. And it is kickoff now. So Uruguay have just got to do all that they can now to try and get a goal back at least, as we are into the 94th minute of the 9 minutes additional time. And I know I said that we hadn't seen any ridiculous times in the first half, but now 9 additional minutes has made up for it now, as Goncalo Ramos just loses the ball a little bit there. And now there could be a chance for 3 here as Bernardo Silva goes forward. Bernardo Silva dispossessed, though, by Vinya. Vinya not being on the pitch longer than 5 minutes, and they've already conceded a goal. It was unfortunate. It was a good sliding challenge from Jimenez. A little look to the Uruguay bench, and they are not happy whatsoever. This means that they are without a win in the 2 games they've played. The 0-0 draw that they had with South Korea means that they are definitely in danger of going out in this tournament. But Portugal, who have 6 points, are definitely through if the score stays like this. Ball headed down and out for a throw into Uruguay. There are still 4 minutes plus maybe some extra time to go on with this. Ball dispossessed now by João Cancelo, who has been fantastic at this game. Bruno Fernandes loses the ball to Bentancur. If the scores were the other way, he'd be my man of the match, but I've got to give it to the player on the winning team at the moment. And now Portugal in the final third as Rafael Leao has a little slip on the ball. And now a counter-attack opportunity as Valverde drives forward up the pitch. Now it's Bentancur who plays the long ball forward. Over to Luis Suarez. Ball goes over the top to Maximilian Gomez Gonzalez to Suarez, but loses the ball to Rafael Leao. And now Portugal are just going to take their time here. Oh, but then that's Mateus Nunes has just sent one of the Uruguay players the other way. Mateus Nunes, just taking his time, passing the ball back. He doesn't need to do too much with it. He doesn't need to be too fancy. They're 2 goals up here. Over to Ruben Diaz. Portugal just want to see this game out now. Long ball by Pepe up to Bernardo Silva to the corner. And lunging tackle by Viña as Viña stays down. And I think has maybe had a little bit of a problem because of that. It was a crunching tackle. Forced turnovers, 12 for Bruno Fernandes, 11 for Bernardo Silva, and 9 for Oliveira. But he'll be happy. He'll be happy with his performance. Bruno Fernandes, like I said, my man of the match. Didn't have the best first half, but in the second half has definitely proved it. Proved that man of the match performance for me. 96.5 minutes gone here, so 2 minutes and change to go in this game between Portugal and Uruguay. If you're just tuning in, my name is Liam Brusby. You're listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary, as Portugal 2-0 up against Uruguay, a very weak Uruguay team. And you must say in this game, have had a couple of clear-cut chances, but haven't taken their chances at all. And it has ultimately been their finishing that's cost them this evening. As the ball by João Palhinha goes forward, and this is Goncalo Ramos. João Cancelo on the left-hand side. Ball goes up to Bruno Fernandes and nearly gets his hat-trick. Very close to getting his hat-trick, Bruno Fernandes. And that would have rounded off a perfect game, a perfect second half at least. But it was a fantastic save by Rocher. Oh, and that's so unfortunate for Fernandes. It could have been 3-0. It should have been 3-0. But it stays at the moment 2-0 with a corner to come for Portugal. This is the 6th corner now for Portugal, and they are just holding the ball in the corner at the moment. As the ball goes out for a goal kick, Bruno Fernandes just kicked the ball out for a goal kick. We've got 1 minute left of the 9 additional minutes. As Bentancur passes the ball on, but loses it to Rafael Leao. And Leao keeps the ball in as well. This is a good opportunity for 3-0. As Bruno Fernandes, he has his chance for a hat-trick, hits the post. Hits the post as Bruno Fernandes. He's done everything but score the 3rd goal now in the last couple of minutes. That was a huge chance for Bruno Fernandes to score. And I don't know if it's come off one of the Uruguay players. No, it hasn't. It's just bobbled off the floor and clattered against the post and gone out for a Portugal free kick. A Uruguay goal kick. As there is a goal kick, or a free kick, coming for Uruguay. Portugal get the ball back now, and there's a little stoppage in play. I think they're just getting back into position. But time has now passed. So we are in the 100th minute now of football in this game. Currently 2-0 to Portugal. The ball comes forward. Cleared away by Uruguay, but back up into the Uruguay half. That's Mateus Nunes trying to win the ball back now. Just keeping an eye on the referee, just in case he wants to blow his whistle. There might still be a minute or so just added on here with all the penalty trauma. Or it could be the last attack here now. Another attack for Portugal. Uruguay haven't looked very likely to score in added time whatsoever. There's a bit of a body check by one of the Uruguay players. I believe it was Varela. But nothing given by the referee. Viña loops that ball forward to Luis Suarez, who doesn't win the header. The referee still not calling for time. He's not looked at his watch yet. The ball picked up by Diogo Costa, who's had a fantastic game in his own right. And that is the game. And that is full time. A 2-0 win for Portugal sees them go into the last 16 of the World Cup. It was a Bruno Fernandes double that has done it for them in the end. In the 54th minute, a cross that we thought had met the head of Cristiano Ronaldo actually looped in, and it was a Bruno Fernandes goal. And then in the 90th minute, a penalty shout, which wasn't initially given, but then it went to VAR and was given, and then converted in the 93rd minute by Bruno Fernandes, rounds off a 2-0 win for Portugal. And like I said, they are through to the round of 16. But Uruguay look a team who have been well and truly beaten. They had the opportunities to score. They had the opportunities to win, especially in the first half. But it wasn't to be for Uruguay. And there's a mountain to climb now as they have Ghana to face, who are in good form and scoring a lot of goals. But that is it for the coverage on the commentary hub. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow for the next commentary of England versus Wales with our producer that was there tonight, Nicholas Jones. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you for the next game. Goodbye.